welcome back to the show. We are Green Room Radio, the dopest radio show in Las Vegas. I'm sitting here next to Mr. Full-time CEO Will Roundtree.
Finally, True. You got it right. Jeez, how long did this take, right?
A good bit, but
See,
we're here.
Rach has already knocked over Biggie.
Dude, I know. First 5 seconds.
So we got little Rach in the building.
What's up, guys? Welcome back.
And we have a very special guest, Mr. Shawne Merriman.
The one and only.
What's going on, man?
Mr. Lights Out.
Mr. Lights Out.
Right.
Let's go.
Youngest draft.
So starting with just that, was that your nickname in football, Lights Out?
Yeah, man. My sophomore year, I went to Frederick Douglass up in Marlboro, Maryland, PG County.
Okay.
And I knocked out four kids in one game. And
Just hitting them?
Yeah, just hitting them. And then after the game, like 20 students came running up to me and said, "Man, you knocked those kids lights out." And I was like, "Yeah, call me Lights Out." And it sucked.
That's a good. So that actually had. So you got named that in Maryland?
Yeah. Back in I was 16 then.
Are you from Maryland?
I'm from
16.
Maryland. Yeah, PG County.
Okay. So did you have any other big offers that you were considering before deciding to go to?
Yeah, I mean, I was offered just about everybody in the country.
Yeah.
But back when I was coming out, I was the number one player coming out of the metropolitan DC, Maryland, Virginia area. And so, but all the big
DMV,
the DMV,
Yeah, that's what we call it, baby.
When I say that, when you're not from there, people are like, you was getting your license.
Right.
We already did that.
Yeah, and so like the big name players would always go to Alabama, they would go Ohio State or Florida State, they would leave.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what, I'm going to be the first big name to stay. And so I ended up staying at home.
Oh, that's dope. And how? I mean, what were you guys? I mean, were you guys a winning team?
Yeah,
500 team?
we played in I think it was like two Gator Bowls and a Peach Bowl. So we had some bowl games.
Yeah, and who were the big teams in your league?
This one like Florida State when they had they had everybody. NC State playing against Phillip Rivers.
Yep.
All 3 years. His 4 years I was there. I played him 3 years.
Okay. Yeah.
Man, who else?
Wait, Phillip Rivers played for Florida State?
NC State.
NC State.
Yeah. So we had NC State, Georgia Tech, like Calvin Johnson was out. I mean, it was crazy.
Where did he go?
Georgia Tech.
Oh,
wow.
Real?
Yeah, I love Calvin Johnson. Yeah, somebody actually asked me, I got a lot of questions from different fans or whatever, but they said, obviously with that Phillip Rivers coming back, hit a touchdown last week.
Yeah.
If they asked you to come back, would you do it?
Hell no.
Hell no.
No, you know what I was saying, and a lot of people asked me, I knew Phillip was going to play okay. So it wasn't whether he was going to play well, and I was like, the next day he wake up, what his body going to feel like.
Right.
That, you can't just, whatever he took to play, when he wake up and that thing wear off, you like, yeah, I'm 44. So I wanted to text him this morning, like, dude, how you feel? So.
No, and especially, I don't follow the NFL that much, but especially seeing, just like saying you put a guy back there, and I don't know what their offensive line looks back, but I'm like, that's scary for a dude that age to be back there.
Yeah, I mean, he had the one. I don't know if you saw the game or not. He had the one play. He went down and he tried to stand back up, and it took forever to get back to his feet, man. So I was happy for him though, man. He for sure is the most competitive player I've played with. Like he's like that all the time.
So from a standpoint of football, what's the conditioning like? Because obviously you're going to get hit. You're going to get hurt. And then the comeback. So is it diet? Is it just, working out, training? What's that look like?
The crazy part is like you don't realize how brutal the game is until you get out of it. Because we're so conditioned to just jump back in it. I've put fingers back in place. I've had dislocated shoulders and bit down on the towel to put my shoulder back in place and gone right back in the game.
That adrenaline gets you going,
It gets you going. You're so used to it.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't until I was doing some sidelines reporting stuff for ABC locally in LA, and one of the guys came over and got cut blocked by me. And I was like lifting my legs. I got PTSD. And I was like, no, I'm done with this shit,
Yeah. No,
and that was, 20 years ago? Or?
Yeah, so I was drafted.
Don't be making them sound all over.
No, he's young, guys.
So I was drafted in 2005, then I retired, I think, in the end of 2013.
Oh, okay.
2013, 2014 season.
12 years.
Yeah.
So playing in San Diego, tell us about that. First of all, I think that's one of the best cities in America.
You got to tell me.
Another question before you answer that. Did you have a place you wanted to go in mind when you came out of Maryland? Did you say, I want to play for this team?
I never been to the West Coast. Mm-hmm. And I visited 4 teams before I got drafted, before the combine and all that stuff. So I went and I seen I went to the Cowboys, Chargers, Redskins, now Commanders, because they were in my backyard, and then Detroit. And so after seeing everybody, I was like, yeah, San Diego is probably where I want to end up.
Right.
I didn't think I was going to be there because I thought I was going to go to the Cowboys.
Oh,
I always thought that I was going to go to the Cowboys because Jerry Jones and Bill Parcells were the head coach at that time. They said, hey, if you slide to the 11th pick, which we think you'll go somewhere in the top 5. If you get out of the top 5 and you're still there, we're drafting you. So I'm a Cowboy in my mind.
Yeah.
But the Chargers also told me the same thing. They said, we think you're going to go somewhere in the top 5, but if you slide out of the top 5 and you're still around at 12, we'll get you.
Like, how do you decide on where you're actually going to go?
You don't have a choice.
Yeah.
Like when they call your name, that's where you're going. And so I had Cleveland up there. I was like, man, I don't want to go to Cleveland. I didn't want to go to Detroit, and not even really so much the city. Like they just wasn't good.
Yeah.
No, I heard. I don't know, but the only person I heard got out of that conjunction is somebody said that Eli Manning actually got picked up by Detroit, but denied.
Well, no, so it was San Diego. So what happened was, that's how I ended up with the Chargers. So the Chargers drafted Eli. Eli made it known publicly that he didn't want to go to the Chargers. His dad didn't want. Archie Manning didn't want to go.
Remember that. Yeah.
And so when he declined to go, they got an extra draft pick from the Giants, and that's how the Chargers ended up drafting me.
So you're the reason the Cowboys will never get a ring. It's basically
Hey, Cowboys haven't won.
No, but they got DeMarcus. I mean, they got DeMarcus was a Hall of Fame. They got DeMarcus Ware. I mean, they're a legit pick.
You know, I'm not a Cowboy fan though, so you know.
Oh, so I thought that was with Detroit. So that was with San Diego.
San Diego. Yeah.
He declined wanting a quarterback for San Diego.
Yeah, I mean, and the whole, practically the whole city hated him for it.
Like I actually remember that.
Yeah, when he came there, dude. To me, I'm like, I hate every team on Sunday. I hate every player. Everybody got to play against. I hate you, right? For four quarters, I don't like you.
Right.
And but I didn't know how much the city hated him until I hit him. You can feel the stadium shake. It was so loud, man. It was so happy I hit him. But I was part of that trade.
Yeah, I remember. Tiki Barber wasn't feeling him at all, and they were going back and forth, and then finally he gets traded out or whatever, and then they win. So that was a crazy thing.
Did you deal with a lot of the politics of the sport? I'm sure it's probably worse now.
There's always politics. I think that when you're a high draft pick and you're playing well, like the politics are less. But it's definitely when you're a late round draft pick and you're not playing well, it's politics in that.
Right.
Like, you got to every day.
You got to prove yourself.
You got to prove yourself. Yeah. If I slack off a little bit, which I didn't, but if I did, I knew I was good no matter what. You're not going to let go of first round pick. You're first, and then you're playing well. You're like, you can really, really, get away with some stuff here and there. But it's definitely politics for sure.
Were you living on the beach?
No, I was more inner city in like Poway, like where a lot of the Padres lived.
Okay.
Yeah. I was around there.
So how do you feel about the NFL being rigged?
Hey, why did that guy punt from the 30-yard line?
And is there magnetic things inside the gloves? Like all the questions we need to know.
He's like they'll come take.
I think no. I think the game has changed now where like the betting is so crazy, right? Like
sports betting is so.
That's
huge.
why they don't want teams here.
Yeah, but so I started to experience that on my way out when fantasy football first got hot and got big. And I never played fantasy football, and I'll tell you why. After the game, it was known that I was playing on a bum knee. I had a really, really bad knee that I was playing on to the point like I'll have to get it injected. I had fluid in every game. Before the game, they would inject like 2 big syringes, and I have big things of fluid filled up just to play so I could move my knee, right?
Wow.
So after the game, I'm going to the players' parking lot where you park your car at, and I got ice on my knee, and I'm limping across the parking lot, and some fan jumped the barricade and was like, "Man, you fucked up my fantasy league." I said, "Bro, if you don't get the fuck," I'm like,
not the fantasy league.
Dude, I'm like,
do players get into that? I mean, do you guys ever do fantasy leagues?
Some now, especially like on the content side, you got these fantasy league shows, not as big as it used to be because the betting has kind of taken over.
Yeah,
but that was the precursor to the betting because people really, really got involved into. Not only picking your team, but like picking your players who are going to start. Like everybody became GMs.
That is true.
Everybody became GMs, and they got so big that now people are pissed off, and so that led to the betting. And so I don't think anything's rigged, But I think that if it doesn't go, might lose enough money and they can't pay their bills now, they're like, okay, there's something crazy, you know?
That's what I mean. I just saw a thing today. Finally, they said that. I always said Detroit wasn't going to be good until the Ford family gets rid of it.
Yeah.
And I just saw like a commercial or something on like Facebook where it said the Ford family bought it in like 1965 so they could have a tax write-off. Like they didn't give a fuck about football. They needed the tax write-off for the cars. And I was like, well, that made sense because they just weren't into it. You know, I'm glad now things are turning around for them out there. But
yeah. And it's definitely like Detroit's a football city.
Yeah.
Like real blue collar.
Yeah.
The Midwest, period.
The Midwest,
like that.
for sure.
I'm from Milwaukee, so Green Bay's like that.
100%.
Did you have the pleasure of ever sacking Mr. Tom Brady?
Yeah, I got him a few times. I got him. But you know what's crazy, man, about Tom is that, like, I don't even understand, like, people, you don't understand how good he was. Like, he was, Phillip Rivers is the biggest competitor I ever played with. And Tom is the biggest competitor I ever played against. Mm-hmm. Like that dude, like he hated to lose. It made him sick. And then you see it in the game like a switch when he get into that mode, when that, it's 2 minutes left and he's driving the ball and you're like, oh shit, here we go. Like a whole different person.
Do you ever though, like, I mean, if Tom Brady was somebody you like, before you make that sack, do you like, I'm going to go a little bit lighter on him or?
Hell no. You're the complete opposite, because you don't, like we play them in the AFC Championship game.
Yeah. And
I got him a couple times. And you don't get to him a lot because he's so smart with the football.
Yeah.
So when you get to him, you got to really lay it on his ass. You know what I mean? Like you really, really got to. And that was like back when you can actually hit.
Yeah, you can hit.
So like if you can, when you hit him, like we were taught to land on him. Like you want all your body pressure to land it because that's where it's not the impact, it's the landing.
Yeah, and you still look pretty big. What would you say your playing weight was for an
like
NFL
around
linebacker?
Between 265 and 270. But I was a big linebacker though.
Right.
What's your weight now, roughly?
255, 260.
Okay.
Somewhere in there, yeah.
So did you have like a checklist every season? Like I can't wait to get this quarterback right here.
Dude, I started having a checklist in high school.
Wow.
Like in high school. So we watched film,
right?
And any player that did like some dirty shit,
right?
You know what I mean? Like we saw him, and then I would go get him.
Okay.
And then I would mark off my locker which ones I got, like how many bodies.
Yeah.
And it's still up in my high school now. It's still up.
Did you know that you were going to go to the NFL like when you were younger playing football?
I did. But it was like back when I grew up in that DC, Maryland area. That's when like it was bad. Like it was top 5 murder capital of the country.
Yeah.
Like, it was really, really,
PG County was bad.
It was
for
bad,
sure.
and so it didn't seem like it was possible because you never seen anybody like pros didn't come back to where we were, And so that's why I go back now so much to where I'm from because nobody came back when I was growing up, and now it's more like now guys in the community going back like, but you didn't see professional athletes come back when I was growing up.
You visit UMD often?
Yeah. I just had I had this my 23rd annual coat drive. Winter coat drive I do out there.
That's dope.
And I still I mean, that's home. I grew up 20 minutes from the school, so yeah.
Yep, always will be home.
You ever did you play in the era of Barry Sanders?
No.
Okay.
I missed him by a lot.
By a lot, yeah.
You're trying to make Shawne like 60 years old.
I
Right?
know, right?
The crazy thing to me was when they wouldn't trade him. There was this little place right down the street from me called Basketball America. So they wouldn't. I think the Redskins were trying to get him, and they wouldn't let him out of contract. And dude, he gets out of the league, and he's just playing Basketball America with everybody. Pickup games of basketball, and dude, Barry was so little.
Yeah,
so little but so big. I think he weighed probably about 220, but I mean, he was just like I always say, just a little bit of an afro thing ahead of me.
Yeah, I mean, he played.
He loved to play basketball.
He played. Like he played in the era. Like you can do anything.
No.
Yeah.
Like you can get it with the cameras and stuff now. Like you go on one of those piles, you can do anything under that.
Yeah. So did that happen a lot?
Yeah, a little bit when I played. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. If they scrambling for a fumble and you,
So that was an intimidation factor.
Oh man, finger post, nudge grab. I mean, it was.
Of all the NFL quarterbacks when you played, who did you hate the most?
Everybody I played against, man. Equally, I can't lie to you.
That's a good mentality.
No, it is. You have to be.
Right, honestly.
You take down who Peyton Manning?
Yeah, I got Peyton like 3 times my rookie year.
That's a big one.
actually, that was probably like my coming out to the NFL moment because I had 3 sacks in a big game against Peyton.
Yeah.
And that kind of put me on the map. And I went to the Pro Bowl my rookie year, defensive rookie year, and then All-Pro. And it was like I think I was only 1 or 2 All-Pros on the All-Pro team that was a rookie. And I was one of them, And so that game was like a big national platform.
And then who did he play for then? Was it Colts?
No, Denver.
Denver. Okay.
Wow.
Are you friends with anyone from the NFL?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny, man, because like I literally had this mindset, like for 4 quarters doing it, I hated you. But I would be at guys' charity events during the off season and like all the time. And so, I'm much different off the field than I was on it. In fact, I remember, I got a big hit against Frank Gore to play running back for the San Francisco 49ers. He's up for the Hall of Fame right now too. And I mean, it was a big hit. And so we were down in Hawaii at the Pro Bowl, and we were all staying at the team hotel, and we got done with practice. I'm walking out the door, and I felt like somebody punched me in the back hard. I turned around like, who the and it was like Frank Gore's mom or his aunt. And was like, if you ever hit my baby like that again, I was like, oh my God. I said, Miss Gore, I'm sorry. You know what I mean? I was apologizing.
That is some mom shit.
I'm just trying to do my job.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Sorry, Auntie.
It was just business. I'm sorry.
Right.
It wasn't personal.
Not that serious. No.
So now, like in the league, we're seeing a lot of linebackers with the injuries now. Like Micah Parsons is out with the torn ACL. Like, what's the mindset? Are you thinking like, man, could this be career ending? Could I get back?
Yeah.
Obviously, the medicine and the technology is different back from when you play. So what do you think the mindset is when somebody go through that type of injury?
Yeah, guys are coming back a lot faster because the medicine is a whole lot better than what it was. So when people see stuff like that, I think because he got a massive contract.
Right.
And people like, oh, well, he's still making 30, 40 this year. And I'm like, dude, listen, when you get to that level of competitiveness, you don't care so much about the money. Now, I'm not saying it's not important.
Right. That was actually a question I had for you. Like, did money change things? Because I always felt like college football, when you're playing for a trophy,
right,
it was balls to the wall. But NFL, if you got $40 million and
honestly, I think the normal person put the money way ahead of the competition level. Because you got to think, man, like football is the ultimate sport where you are trying to physically harm the guy across from you, and vice versa. They're doing the same. And so you want to see if you can beat this guy up for 4 quarters. And so you're in the game, you're not thinking like, as soon as this game over, I got 40 million, right? You're like, it never really crossed your mind. And so you see like a guy like Micah go down, who is on a Hall of Fame. And so, the reason why I stopped playing because I had injuries.
Right.
And so I have when I see that, man, I'm like, it really, really is a gut punch because I know how bad, that is, right? Yeah.
Are you still feeling the effects today?
No, I feel great now. Like I sparred, I was telling him before you walked in, I sparred. I was at Extreme Couture today. I'll jump in, the pro class and spar some of the guys and stuff. I feel great now, but football is a different breed. And
do you worry about the CT at all? Do you see any players that?
I guess I a couple teammates is dealing with some stuff.
I'm seeing that now with UFC fighters.
It's there, right? Like even if you didn't have a big something, we hit our head enough, that okay, it's not normal for sure. Right. Yeah. But I think if you start to mix with, some guys got substance abuse problems, some guys got, family stuff, financial stuff. I think it's a combination of everything. Right. I don't think it's just that. It's just like, hey man, guys got depression problems, anxiety problems. I think it's a combination of a bunch of stuff that if you do also have any kind of brain stuff going on, that it's hard to deal with.
Yeah, I feel bad for that, the player for the Cowboys.
Speaking about the financial problems, so I saw the interview with OBJ talking about the $100 million and how people are like, Odell Beckham Jr. And people are like, how could a player blow through $100 million? And I understand how, because I know that when you start making money like that, your monthly expenses may be $300,000 a month.
Yeah.
And so, what did you guys get a lot of training on dealing with finance? Or is it more prevalent now, from the training and having better financial advisors around? Yeah,
because I think that like I grew up in PG County. We didn't have shit, right? Mm-hmm. And we grew up. I was homeless multiple times in my childhood, and so when you're not prepared to be in that situation, it goes faster than a lot of people think. And I think that, I saw Odell, and as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh shit, he's gonna get a bunch of because you got people out who can't pay their bills.
Right. And they hear 100 million, they like, bro, how you come on?
And then you start to when you start to really break it down to people, like, okay, you sign up, let's say you make 100 million in a 8-year period, whatever that number is. But 100 million is not 100 million, it's more closer to 50.
Yeah.
Right. So now you say, okay, you got 50 million over 8 years or whatever. And
now you're like 7 million.
Now you're like 7 million a year. So so you start to break down to 7 million a year and start looking at, now, especially from where I come from, and you want to start taking care of people. That's the number one problem.
Yeah.
The number one problem. It's not like guys out always doing stupid shit. It's you feel the obligation because you don't want to make it.
Yeah, you got 5 mortgages, 10 car notes.
Somebody,
that stuff
family,
go fast.
Family call you and they got eviction notices or they don't have food there, and there might be a second cousin who you ain't even that close to.
Right. Yeah. So I was gonna ask you, a bunch of cousins come out the closet.
Yeah, no, not as much as that, but you start looking at the people who helped you out a little bit to get there, right? Well, maybe when you didn't have food, took you to go get dinner or drop some groceries off to you.
Yeah.
And so those $300 groceries end up turning to, 30,000 real quick, and
for real.
And so the hardest thing for younger guys to learn is no. That's the, I tell a lot of the younger guys that get knowing your vocabulary quick.
Right.
Because the yeses all the time is going to get you there. And then the second you say no, all hell break loose.
It's going to be done anyway.
All hell break loose.
So did you deal with the survivor's remorse?
No, not really that. Because shit, I put in the work. So it was a little bit different in my situation, but I did take care of a lot of people who probably didn't deserve it.
Okay.
But you don't know that until you get into a situation like, why am I taking care of this person? They're taking advantage. But you don't think that somebody so close to you will take advantage until you see it. Because you never saw anybody in that before, right? This is somebody you grew up with, a family member or a close friend, and everything is good when you're taking care of them. When you're like, hey, I'm not paying your bills anymore, or I'm not helping you with this, and you see the person they turn to, and you're like, man, that's crazy.
Yeah,
I don't have to give you anything, but as soon as you say no, like that's when all hell break loose.
Like you're the bad guy,
right? Oh, for sure,
for having boundaries,
for sure.
And it'll be a few dollars too. It don't even be nothing crazy that they'll be like, oh, Shawne, you think you all that? Like, yeah, I am.
Right.
I'm Mr. Lights Out.
Yeah. And,
I did that.
Believe it or not, man, it is more people that are changed around you. It's not even the person who's getting the money. It's the people that's changed, that you get treated differently. You're like, bro, I'm the same as, and it's because now you are at a different place in your life, then you're like, yeah, I'm not doing the same shit I was doing 5-10 years ago.
Definitely.
Okay, big deal. I'm older now. And so that's when a lot of that, you change stuff come from.
I tell people, like in the music industry side, I would tell people you have to, what I was told, you've outgrown people now.
Yeah.
You're in they always told me, it's not that we're better than them. It's just you've outgrown them. You can't have your little high school buddies, they're not supposed to be in here or back here. And it's not because we're better. It's just you're here for a reason.
Right.
They're not. You gotta leave that alone. And I still tell people that to this day. I mean, once you go up in level, like, you don't forget about people, but it's like you start to not have anything in common anymore.
Yeah, what's crazy? I experienced that a lot when I was younger. Then the people I stopped talking to, who I were close to later on in life, they were like, "Okay, I see what you were saying," because they grew up.
Yeah,
and they, we actually became closer again because you had to kind of put your foot down and cut them off and let them know, like, man, we're not doing this no more. Right? We're not at that place. And then when they get in a position where now they start maybe experiencing some success or working, now people asking them, and they're like, okay, I see. I see now. Yeah. So I did get that a lot too.
So I have a friend who played in the NBA, and he said he had a cousin come to him with a fake tax bill for like $50,000 to try to extort him for $50,000 just to try to get money from him. What was one of the most bizarre requests people got?
I had I had a barber, bro, who would he probably gave me 3 to 4 free haircuts ever. Right. I haven't talked to him in years after. This like when I think it was in high school.
Okay.
And he reached out to Blue, and then he wanted to start like some barber shops.
Okay.
And I was like, well, why would I, you know what I mean? And I was like, bro, you probably gave me $150 worth of haircuts. Like now you want $20,000. I'm like, what?
Right.
For
No
what?
business plan. Nothing.
And it'd be a little bit different if they maybe came with one.
That's what I'm saying.
yeah.
I want to see how I get my money back.
Right.
But it's like, no, just give me 20 grand. I'm like, for what?
Right.
I was like, bro, you want me to give you a 150 back? Like, I can
put in on it. Right.
Yeah.
It's crazy how
Yeah.
people come back around like that.
Yeah.
I feel like people always, anybody in power, you probably had people coming at you with all kinds of investments. You want to invest in this, that.
Yeah, I think that people are a little bit more intimidated to come to me with the bullshit too, though. Like I wasn't the ones like, I would get, man, get out of here.
Right,
You know what I mean? I wasn't the one like, I'd be like,
yeah.
I got 10 minutes, but what do you got? And the first 2 minutes, if it ain't,
Definitely.
no.
So speaking of investments, what current business investments do you have right now?
My main, everything I'm doing right now is what lights out extreme fighting. And so, back when I was playing with the Chargers, I started training with a lot of the MMA guys in the mid 2000s. This is when MMA was first starting to come on. This is like around 2006. And a good friend of mine, Jay Glazer over at Fox Sports, who's a broadcaster, had introduced me to Randy Couture.
Yep.
And so I started to train with Randy back in the mid 2000s. And it was really just to get better in football. Like I didn't really think nothing of it. And I had, growing up in PG County, I got family members, like my uncles were professional boxers. So I grew up boxing anyway. Because I was around them so much. And so he introduced me to Randy and just really wanted to use my hands and different stuff.
Grappling and all of that for the line.
Yeah, dude.
Definitely.
And I remember
That's actually smart.
Bro, I remember walking to the gym. He had a gym on La Brea in LA. I came in there and
Couture did?
Randy Couture.
Oh,
that was where he first started. And so it was funny. So Jay Glazer texted me an address. He's like, hey, meet me here tomorrow. So I came in there. And so I walk in and Jay Glazer's right here on my left and then Randy Couture's on my right. And Randy had just won he was like the oldest champion. Like just won it at 42 years old. I looked at Jay and like, bro, this not going down today. I'm like, I'm not fighting Randy Couture. And so I said, no, you're just going to be grappling and pummeling and using your, hands and working on some stuff. And dude, Randy was just throwing my ass around in there. Like he wasn't even trying.
So in that case, does technique beat power and
100%. That's why it's MMA is a different beast, especially somebody that's a high level wrestling like Randy. He's like a all world wrestler.
Yeah.
And so me not knowing, I'm walking there, I got muscles and shit, and I'm strong, and I'm like, let's see what he got today. I'm like, no, man. And I remember leaving the gym that day, and me being an athlete, and I'm so damn competitive. Like I left like defeated. Like an 11-year-old kid has got kicked off the basketball court, right? I got down to San Diego and I texted him. I said, hey, what time are you working out tomorrow? And I worked out with the Chargers and I drove back to LA to go work out with Randy. And that's how I kind of started in the MMA business. And then I ended up launching my organization, Lights Out Extreme Fighting. That, we just got the big deal with
ESPN.
With ESPN Latin America.
That's sick.
Yeah,
Congrats.
Appreciate it.
Massive. And are you the owner? Do you have partners?
Yeah. No, it's just me.
Just you.
Yeah. We got a big team.
Well, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I'm like, when you're talking about a fight league, it's just like, man, where do you start?
Yeah.
Like, you got to have people, the recruiters, you got to get
matchmakers, production. You got people to run the show. Accountants, bookkeepers.
Do you pick the ring girls?
Yeah. Yeah. But no, look, that's nothing. Like when you're, especially now, because we got a lot of TV. We're on UFC Fight Pass. We're on football.
Oh, they put you on Fight Pass?
Yeah. We're our fights. If you look them up, they're on Fight Pass, and we're a very visible organization. And
are you friends with Dana? Is he a little bit competitive?
But dude, like UFC is so massive. Like I don't think they're looking at themselves like comparing them to the NFL, not to another MMA league. They're too big.
You got to give people there's tons of people out there that need that experience in another league before they're even ready to go.
Look, I think it's some parts of it. It may be harder to get in the UFC than the NFL.
Oh wow!
Because it's less fighters and they got to fight. Probably 3 to 4 times a year.
That makes sense.
So it's harder. And I just got a lot of respect for Dana because you got to think this sport wasn't really big without them.
100%.
It wasn't really big, and so even when I go see Dana now, when we talk, it's just I don't ask him for anything because I don't need to. But I've always admired. Look, I went to at least four UFC fights a year since 2005, and I was just out in Abu Dhabi when they had the big fight out there a few months ago, and we seen him talking about. I dropped by the office here and there and just catch up for half hour or so, and we stay in touch.
You work out ever at that PI?
No, but I want to.
So, dude, I have so many fighter friends, and I'm like, the fact I haven't been in there, like, I've been wanting to.
Yeah.
What, the UFC gym?
Yeah. It's
you have to go. You got to be. Fighters can bring you in, but you can't just like, go in off the street. And so we just had that.
We got Odie Osborne.
Yeah, there's a lot of top level. I got some of my fighters from Lights Out that's over there training. And then Forrest Griffin, I don't even remember Forrest Griffin. He's running over there. So, but yeah, I got to get over there.
Yeah, I heard his job. It was funny because I just recently heard that. I'm a big UFC fan, but they were saying Forrest's job was to, like, when fighters are competing with each other, like, okay, we got to get Khabib's people out before the people he's fighting coming in, and that's Forrest Griffin. I'm like, that's a great job for Forrest Griffin.
Yeah, and Forrest is a bad dude himself.
I had a really funny thing with him. So when I moved here, there's this place, furniture store, RC Willie, and this is where I learned about the road rage thing. I get cut off by a smart car, and I'm like,
not the smart car.
Like, fuck you, fucking did it. He pulls in, follows me, We pull up behind RC Willie. I'm picking up a refrigerator. And I get out, and he gets out, and he's just playing. But I knew exactly who he was. And he goes, "You thought you were gonna fuck with me because of the smart car, right?" And I'm like, "Bro," he said I won this in a fight. And he goes, "But don't ever think you're just gonna fuck the guy up in the smart car." I was like, "Man, I don't even know what." I was like,
"Damn, he got you there."
He did. Well, as soon as he got out the car, I knew exactly.
But the thing is, even if you didn't know who he was, you look at those ears, man.
That's
the
what
ears give it away.
So back in the day, you had some bar fights and shit. If a guy's a boxer, you don't know.
Yeah.
Right, but if you see those ears, just turn the other way. Go about your business.
I tell all my Detroit friends that come out here, I said, understand you are in the MMA fight capital. Some of these guys look small.
They will fuck you up. They will fuck you up.
Don't be out here on that bullshit, because, yeah.
So something that stood out, Shawne, a lot of players could have just went the endorsement route. You could have went and probably got an endorsement deal with any of the, extreme fighting companies, but you chose ownership, which I think is really important. Where did that mindset come from? Because a lot of the times people... Because I can only imagine the grunt work it took, the relationships, the investments that you had to make to even build your, to build that empire. So, like, what made you go the route of ownership versus just doing like a partnership deal and endorsements?
Yeah, no, that's a great question, man, because that is something that I try to talk about a lot with ownership, because a lot of people don't understand when you own something or you're the boss or you're the founder or whatever, like, that shit ain't pretty.
No,
it's not, it's not pretty.
You're the last to get paid.
You're the last to get paid. And we've been in a situation because we started growing so fast, like we had to hire bigger teams. So things got thin where you had to figure it out,
Yeah.
And I was using a lot of my own money starting out that I made in football to even launch it from the start. And so, because I believe that if you believe in truly what you're doing, you would do it.
You'll pay it.
You'll do it. And initially starting out, you got the UFC who's the conglomerate that everybody knows. Right, so they think that's the only league.
Right.
And you got the other people like, oh, this guy's former football player. So now you walking and getting stereotyped in these meetings, not even knowing that you've been around this shit. When I first retired, I got into TV at NFL Network, Fox Sports.
But is that good money? I see a lot of guys.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good money. But the guys that own it are making a whole lot.
Making more, yeah.
And so. And I'll tell you what really got me interested. So when you work in TV, it's really good money. Now it's great money when you're the Stephen A's or the big name guys. But then you're on every day.
Just go out? Did I hear that?
What's that?
Is Stephen A. done with ESPN?
Oh.
No. He's there for life. Okay. I mean, he's there. He's there.
I heard that.
But so I started to understand the TV business, production, how it works. But I didn't get curious until this when DraftKings first came out. And I was at Fox Sports, and I was making pretty good money at Fox Sports. I was in 3-4 days a week, and I was on Colin Cowherd's show, once, twice a week. And then I remember I getting off set, and DraftKings just coming out, and they said, hey, DraftKings want you to do a read for them, basically on the teleprompter, like promoting. It was like Fox Sports Southwest, and who's the Fox Sports of Texas.
Right.
And they said, hey, just got this little read. And it was like 4 or 5 sentences on the teleprompter that I had to read so they can use for the Fox Sports. It's like, well, we'll pay you $5,000. And I was like, hold on. Y'all gonna pay me $5,000 for 4.5 sentences. So I was like, okay, this is somebody making a lot of money. Right? And so
the gears started turning.
Yeah. And I'm like, then I understand like how who pays the bills, the commercials, how it works, who's the president, who's the CFO, who's the COO, who's the CTO, whatever. So, I had almost 10 years before I launched Lights Out Extreme Fighting of how TV works and production and all this stuff.
Right.
So I've been around MMA space for like almost 18 years. So I knew all the fighters, knew all the coaches, the camps. I knew the matchmakers or whatever league. I knew everybody I wanted to hire and bring in.
So it was almost like perfect alignment
it
from
was
the relationships, you being in television, learning the media side.
Yeah.
Because being on TV, I'm sure that helped with your branding once you launch Lights Out, because now people still recognize your face and help with the branding. So, and I'm sure marketing and advertising is brutally expensive.
Yeah.
How long ago did you start Lights Out? How many years?
Well, we launched in the 2019.
So that had to hurt going
into the pandemic, and we were actually making a lot of headway. So this is when the UFC just left, which is crazy how everything is coming back full circle, because UFC just left Fox Sports to go to ESPN.
Yeah,
and now we came in to Fox Sports,
right?
And so, so Fox Sports first, and so we were on the regionals of Fox Sports West, Prime Ticket, and Southwest Sun, which is Florida, and so we started to growing fast, and the goal was to move the FS1, Fox Sports 1, and then boom, the pandemic hit. So we were crushed for like 2 years.
Wow.
And so now, kind of full circle, UFC leaves, go to Paramount.
So now some room.
Now we're moving on ESPN Latin America, and so I believe in timing, but you need some luck. You need some luck, but you got to be working in order to put yourself in that position to be ready for
powerful.
It. Absolutely.
Are you based in Vegas?
Yeah, I'm based in Vegas.
Okay. Now, are people coming to you, or do you have people out there actively scouting people all over the world?
It's crazy. So when I first started, my very first show, we almost failed right off the rip. Like overspent, didn't have the right people and team and stuff like that, and so I adjusted quick and started bringing in the right people, and then people seeing what I was doing. But initially, there was this in LFA, another promotion that was around. That was around a lot longer than us, right? And so we started to get the attention of a lot of fighters, not just in the U.S., but then when we started getting more visibility, now I went to Fubo for 2 years.
What is that?
Fubo. It's a streaming service.
It's a streaming service.
Yeah. So we were on Fubo, and we were like top 5 most watched, growing and growing and growing. And then that's how we came into the partnership with ESPN. And so, I mean, you need luck, and there's a lot of stuff is coincidence for us. for UFC to be leaving Fox Sports, us sliding into Fox.
It's God's timing.
It's timing. It's a lot of it's timing, and then I feel like right now is the time for us to be the next up, because I really do feel like we have the next up and coming superstars of the sport. Now, I think we sent last year about 6 or 7 fighters to the UFC. Last year from us. So we like having that.
So you still work with the UFC in a way.
I wouldn't say work with them, but I think that like when you become a champion over at Lights Out Extreme Fighting, you're gonna get a shot. They're looking at you. Either UFC or Dana's Contender Series. One of the two.
So it gives people a good foundation. Are you getting a lot of younger fighters?
Yeah.
Yep.
And how do you get accepted into Lights Out?
Well, a lot of our amateurs are like California state amateur champs. So they already got built-in followings already.
Right.
So we have, 6 to 7 amateur fights, and then we get into the pro card about 8 fights. So we'll have a 4.5 hour show once a month.
Okay.
So is that, they always say the fight business is such a dirty business. We had a friend, I think you know him. What was it? Billy Woe?
Billy Woe, yeah.
I think Billy, you know Billy Woe?
No.
Oh, he just got involved in trying to do a fight like people do, and everybody ends up robbing each other.
Who was the guy that was fighting?
It was Rampage Jackson.
Yeah, Rampage
was fighting.
Jackson.
It was just
but the show went down.
You talking about Billy?
Billy.
That's my boy, man.
Yeah, so
that's my boy. You know what's crazy about that? It was that fight was supposed to be on my streaming service, Lights Out Sports TV.
No way.
That fight was supposed to be.
We had Billy right before
we were gonna go.
So Billy's like, I'm gonna get you guys a suite.
I was just with Billy.
Yeah.
We had dinner like about a month ago.
Yeah, he's a fun
and
dude.
you know, yeah. So, but again, that's the bullshit too that you deal with. Now it's a little less in MMA because it's newer.
Right.
But some of these guys have been around in boxing or whatever that's been around 30, 40 plus years are still doing the backdoor passes and shit, you know, with some like just side, like a lot of.
I feel like Billy was just, coming in as an investor. It's
Yeah, no, I felt bad.
You don't even know who you're doing business.
Yeah,
with,
I felt bad for Billy. I didn't put any money in that deal. But it was supposed to be on my streaming service,
Right.
and me when they first reached out to be on my streaming service, I've been around long enough to know to sniff out bullshit.
Yeah.
And so I started calling right away, and I'm like, I don't care who anybody is. I don't want to know anybody. And luckily, I got.
I
pretty
told
close to
Billy I told Billy that the numbers didn't make sense to me when he was telling me everything.
I did that. So I ran the numbers. I seen the
Math
numbers,
wasn't
and
mathing.
within 20 minutes, I called him that this shit ain't gonna work.
Wow.
Yeah.
This shit ain't gonna work. And I called Paige. I called Rampage. I said, "Yeah, bro. Yeah, this something ain't right.
Right. It's not going to
Something
work.
ain't right. Yeah.
So in building the fighters and building the brand and building just, people wanting to tune in, how important is it for the fighters to have the personality to sell the fights? Are you guys also looking at that?
Yeah, I mean that always plays a factor in it, right? Because the UFC, as big as they are, because they have personality,
Absolutely.
and from not even just somebody that's a megastar like Conor, but you got, like Shane O'Malley. Like I love like they got a bunch of characters, but you got to be able to scrap with that too, because you go in there doing all these antics and going to get your ass whipped. Like it's like what is that?
I was actually just shocked last week on Marab, but I feel like Marab was starting to do the acting role, and I see him out there driving a G-Wagon, then all of a sudden he takes an L. I'm like, bro, you better get your.
Well, he fought 4 times this year. It's hard.
Sometimes you got to take a step back, but like Israel Adesanya, love Israel. And they
Where's
just,
he gonna go? Is he?
I think he got one coming up. I wouldn't doubt if they try to figure out to put him on that White House card. To be honest.
Okay. See,
Yeah,
I would think
I went
so.
down I go
gonna
down
be a
these
good
rabbit
fight.
holes on YouTube, and I realize now YouTube's bullshit. But I thought I heard that they didn't come to an agreement, the UFC and Israel, so he was going to the PFL. But
Hell no.
no, I didn't think he would. I'm like, there's no way they would let him go. Like,
no.
he lost a couple of fights, but he's the man.
He's still big.
Yeah, who's your favorite fighter in the UFC?
It's weird, man, because I know a lot of these guys. Like I was,
It ain't gonna be one of the 125ers, right?
not a little. I like the little guys too. But like I've trained with a lot of these guys over the years too.
Right.
Even like Paige when I was training down in Long Beach, down in Body Shop with the McKees down there too. Like Rampage being there. So it's and then John. I mean, John Jones probably my favorite fighter.
Oh yeah,
MMA fighter.
Dude, I say it all the time. I'm like, I don't know what was up with the whole Aspinall thing, but I'm just like, dude, John Jones has not aged out, and I'm like, bro, he's a straight up serial killer.
Yeah, yeah, those dudes are crazy because you meet John out the cage, and he's the nicest dude you ever come across.
I was booking talent for Club Excess for like 7 years. John Jones would just be in that fucker floating around by himself, just walking around, have a bottle in his hand, and I'm like, man, he's such a nice guy, and he's just a straight fucking killer. So when people are like, "Oh, I'm an Aspinall," he's getting punked. I'm like,
that's all. That I don't, it's crazy because MMA technically is light years behind the NFL, right?
Yep.
MMA right now is probably where football was in the 80s or 90s.
Wow.
As far as because you got to think a lot of these fighters, man, like they didn't train year round. You used to. Because the money, they got in shape for the fight.
Yeah.
Dudes sitting around drinking and partying, and playing video games and not, eating the shit. And they would lose 40 pounds for the fight. Now you got, like the PI and like all these guys are staying as they nutritionists. They're getting body work done. Like it wasn't always like that. And so like when people, even the fighters now is complaining about the pay, that's
what I was going to say.
Like
into.
I mean, I see guys right now playing in the NFL who ain't that good, and they're making 10 off the bench, 10 million off the bench. And I'm like, dude, I ain't make 10 million. I led the league in sacks.
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying. So I can also have that same mentality, or you can appreciate the game growing, the fight game growing, and it'll get there, man. It'll get to the point where I don't know if they'll never make NFL money, but you got to understand, like a lot of these guys are fighting 3-4 times a year. So if you start hitting those 7 figures a fight, that's pretty damn good money.
No.
Yeah.
And speaking of money, I want to call back something that you said when you said you put a lot of your own money into your league. When you're meeting with different investors, or if you're sourcing capital, do you ever get people that kind of are a little bit like, well, Shawne, you should have the money. Why should we put, or almost saying you don't need our money? Do you sometimes deal with that?
I leave those meetings. I leave those meetings because to me, it's like a sign of disrespect. If you build something that's profitable enough, that's interesting enough for somebody else to invest in it.
Absolutely.
Especially if you want to make money. If you got numbers and you're showing that you're growing revenue-wise, then somebody's going to say, hey, I see what you're doing. Here go this, right? And so somebody say, "Oh, put your own money." I'm like, you didn't say that shit to Elon Musk. He's still raising money
to this day.
You didn't say it to anybody else. And so for me, I just take it. When we talk about stereotype,
right?
Like, oh, you got the money, why don't you? Well, that was my money to get here, right. And so you get to a point where, and I think it's still a little bit of a stereotype because look, we there's only like 2 MMA organizations on ESPN right now, period. It's us and PFL. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so they've raised a lot more money than we have.
Wow.
And the growth we've had over this past year or two, man, has just been crazy. And so I always feel that I have to go beyond, right? It got to be so big instead of it just being really good. I feel like when I do it, it has to be massive in order for somebody to get real interested in it.
Right.
And that's just my personal thing.
So you do believe in sourcing capital outside of your own. And I'm only reason I'm asking it that way is because I work with a lot of entrepreneurs and businessmen and women, and they believe that they should always use and put their own money in. And I want them to be able to hear. It's like, no, the goal is once you build something, go play with somebody else's money. What would you say to those businessmen?
If you keep putting your own capital into it, you can't grow.
I agree.
You can't grow. And we've grown so fast, Lights Out Extreme Fight. We have to go raise money, especially if it's my day to day. Like this, for 16 hours a day, I'm doing something with Lights Out. If it's not media, it's something with the operation side, it's something with the production side, it's venue side, where we're going to have to fight at next. And it's a nonstop thing, 6 days a week where I'm hitting it. So, okay, where am I going to go make money at? So if you're just taking your own money, keep putting it in here,
you're going to run out.
You're going to run out. So, and then now, now ESPN, you're on a platform like that. Now it's, okay, now we want more fights. Now we want bigger fighters.
Yeah.
Now we want better production.
And that costs money.
Right?
Right.
So in order to keep a sustainable growth tactic, you have to go and raise capital. And the goal is when somebody invests in what you're doing, it's showing you like, oh shit, I did what I supposed to do. We're going in the right direction. That's a sign of like, so we end up taking like debt early on. Like we just, like that's what we did, because I didn't want to, we talk about ownership.
Definitely, 100%.
Yeah. And so that's when you ask me, is it anybody else? No, it's just me. We've from ARI Capital, was our kind of our partner.
I'm actually glad you said that because I believe in like I'm an investor and I buy primarily real estate. I believe in debt, but I think especially for a lot of up and coming entrepreneurs, they're scared of that.
Yeah.
And I like, and that's why I love when people who have a platform such as yours are telling people like, no, ownership. And sometimes with ownership comes debt. But if you believe in it enough, the debt is going to be able to position you to get to a place where you can become profitable. Because even if, you got a deal, let's say you got a product and you get a deal with Walmart, you got to have enough money to have inventory just to get into Walmart. Then once you get in Walmart, you got to have the shelf space. And then, so all of those different things.
Whether it's debt, PO financing, whatever you look at it, you need to take on something in order for you to grow. And you get to the point where now you're showing a real revenue driver. Now you bring in equity partners. 100%. But this is sharks out here now. You gotta swim. So when they see you, growing like that, you sit down with a VC. You sit down with a VC or PE or family office or something, and they see you're going to be big, but you don't have the revenue numbers that you're going to be big. And they're like,
dilute your shares.
We want half
everything,
right? I mean, off the rip. And so that's why a lot of and I got a really good debt partner in Zach Ellison, who came in, who has a venture debt fund.
Okay.
And so that's kind of how we got off the ground and start moving in the right direction.
Definitely.
Are you guys following kind of like the same pay structure as UFC, or do you feel like, do you feel for Dana being an owner that everybody's, obviously coming at him, the fighter pays horrible? I mean, do you guys follow suit with what they're doing?
Hell no. Hell no. I mean, that's how you go out of business. And this company has gone out of business, or on the way of going out of business.
Like following the same model as everyone else?
Yeah, because you can't, in this business, you can't spin your way to the top. And there's other organizations that try to spin their way to the top and on the way out. And we did it the organic way where we started getting a lot of local talent, right? So you don't pay for as many hotel rooms to travel, so stuff like
that's
that.
Smart.
And then we had a home base in Thunder Studios in Long Beach where we had a studio where we don't have to go and travel.
That's smart.
Had a production team going. It's like, so we did it the smart way. And now, like, we haven't even spent a dime in marketing.
Wow.
We haven't spent one single dime in marketing because we built up the right way organically. And now we got some of the best fighters in the world calling us to come fight for Lights Out Extreme Fighting. But I learned from everybody else's mistakes.
Right.
You know, so we didn't want to go down that path.
Are these fights local, or are you taking them to different states?
Well, we're in California mainly, you know, from LA, Long Beach down to San Diego. But it's, like I said, it's crazy because we got so much traction. We're getting calls from Texas, Arizona, even here to come.
I was going to say, are you going to do anything in Vegas?
Yeah, I mean, we want to. You know, it's like, I think you should own your own backyard before you move, you know, and build up a really home base. And then while you're building at the same time, you don't, like, everybody think you just have all this shit figured out when you start. You don't. You know,
learning on the fly.
Whether it's the right team, you bring somebody in and they, you know, selling you a dream. I can do this, I can do that, and they don't do shit. And you're like, okay, I got to get rid of him. And you got to get, so you're learning on the way. But, you know, I've been around this thing enough to know the right people to bring in, and I have.
Right.
And how long you been out here in Vegas?
6 years.
Okay.
Almost 6 years. Yeah.
So it's funny.
I'm at the same too.
6 years?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I got here in 05.
Yeah.
I've been here.
Well, I've been coming to 05. It was for different reasons. You know. You know, not so much now, but yeah.
But yeah, no, that's crazy. What do you got over there, Rachel? I see you keep
so like,
glancing at-
yeah, what are like some of your whys? Like, why do you do this? Why did you create Lights Out?
You know, so I'm sure you guys hear a lot of the stories like guys retire and they struggle, right? And that transition is rough for anybody.
Do you guys do medical?
Yeah.
Okay, because I heard, you know, I don't know if this is true, but somebody said in the UFC you're only under medical the night of the fight. So that's why these fighters are going in there with broken fingers and
I mean, you know, it varies different. You know, guys got their own health coverage, but yeah, if a guy get injured during a fight or something like that, we cover everything.
But I mean, but do you think in fighting? Sorry about that. Do you think in fighting that there should be medical coming with every league?
It's tough, man, because it depends on the guy's an independent contract. You know, he's independent, right?
Yeah.
And you know, different. But I think it's important. I'm a former athlete, man, so of course I wanted my main thought process to take care of the guys. But you also got a business to run too,
Yeah,
you know.
no, that makes sense.
But we do have we got a technology that we partner with, Shot Tracker. It's a chip that we put in the gloves that's going to be to measure a lot of speed, power, G-force.
You hear that,
velocity.
Rachel? He's talking about the NFL.
No, he's not talking about the NFL.
Yeah, this one ain't gonna be scripted. Like, hey, throw a right hand,
Right.
throw a left hand.
Wait, okay, so let's go back to your why too.
Well, for me, I have a chip on my shoulder no matter what. Like, still, I mean, I wake up with a chip on my shoulder. I've always been that way because I always picture to being the best at what I do. And I think that we talk about stereotypes. We talk about a lot of things, and like, you know, I want to prove that we're big and we can be extremely successwe in what we do. And so, you know, so we sit in when I first started out, sitting in boardrooms and stuff like that, and somebody will see us. We were at football at the time. I remember a time, and they're like, "Well, who's doing this for you?" I'm like, "Mother."
Wow.
You know, it was that.
All right.
And so, you know, I do have this chip on my shoulder when it comes to a lot of that.
Do you feel like that comes from your childhood as well?
Yeah, 100%. 100% because, you know, when I was growing up, we had lost our homes to fires, and we were living in shelters and hotels and cars for some time until my high school coaches took me in. And so you learn very quickly how to make shit happen or figure it out. Like, I've always been in a position where we had to figure it out. And so it's no, like, that mentality has never left. We're going to figure it out. And then when we do, we're going to slam on the gas and we're going to be big.
Yeah.
You know?
And when you put your own money up, you
have no choice.
Everybody better be working there.
No, I know exactly how that feels.
So how do you just spend downtime? You know, when are you just Shawne?
My son, you know, my son made the freshman All-American team, so I'm flying out Thursday.
Yeah.
I'll be in Florida, in Naples. I think it's in Naples this year. But it's really him, man, like to kind of, to go out there because he's in Jersey. He goes to Paul Catholic right now. And so just...
How old is he?
15.
Oh, 15.
Yeah, so to get a chance to spend with him, you kind of put your guards down for a little bit. But even like he's at practice or his games, I got my I'm working on the side. But it's cool, man, because he never give me shit. You know, like I'm around, we're doing stuff, whatever. I'm taking calls. Like he just
he
know,
respects.
man.
He knows.
He knows. And he know what kind of car he want too. You know, like, 'cause he's about to get his permit. But I think honestly, because my dad wasn't around growing up, right? And so now I get a chance to like experience that and like live through it.
Yeah.
And then also too, man, like around at 12, I got friends who just had kids, and I was like, dude, if you got a son like before 6, it's boring as hell, man. Like they,
you can't do nothing with them.
You can't do nothing.
Yeah.
My son 15, so I get it. Yeah.
So it's fun for the mom, but like he started playing hockey first and getting into sports, and now it got like 8, 9 years old, and now it's just full fledged, like the best time ever.
Because now that's like your guy.
Yeah,
that's your friend. Yeah.
No, we sent memes back and forth all day.
My son.
I'm like, bro, you in class? Dude, you in class? Like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Like,
supposed to be paying attention, dude. What's going on?
Or like, so he wants. Sometimes he wants to me. I think he like waits till like 3:01 to send me his first meme.
Because he knows. He knows.
But I know his practice schedule, so I'll start sending him stuff as soon as he's done. But I think, I would say that because he's he's one of the top quarterbacks in the country, class 2029.
Wow.
So is he a big guy?
Yeah, he's 6'3". Dude, he's 6'3", 195. He just finished up his freshman. He got like 8 or 9 offers right now, D1 offers.
So he's definitely probably going to go to NFL too.
Yeah, and then what's crazy is
that's your retirement, by the way.
I didn't really. Coincidentally enough, like I don't, he wants to work and stuff now, man. Like he wants a job. He's like,
oh, that's good.
He's like he's like me. He's like, Dad, I'm thinking about getting a job this summer. I'm like, hey, all right. You know what I mean? Like it's but it's fun. Like so he's like that's my downtime. I go to the gym, 5-6 days a week. I'm in the gym like normally between 6 and 6:30 in the mornings, and then I get to working after that. And I'm like 16 hours during the day while I'm up. Right. And so even if I'm watching, like I love movies, or series. Like I love Landman right now. Have you seen it on Paramount?
No, I haven't seen that one yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Billy Bob Thornton is starring this. We got to check it out.
Anyway.
Yeah, you got to check it out, man. So like even when I'm watching TV, I'm still like sending out emails and like it really never stops.
It's like they never tell you about all the hard work that you have to put into it to get to where you want to be later on the line.
That's it's so funny you said that because I just told somebody the other day, like people are so infatuated with the glitz and glamour shit. Yeah. When somebody driving a nice car, living a lifestyle, they see jewelry or see something.
Social media now, like I mean, people can go viral the next day and then somehow start making money, and then now they're this and that. So I feel like it has gotten to a lot of people's heads, like where they want that quick money, that fast fame too. But they don't tell you about the 16 hours that you have to put in for 6 days a week for 20 years or whatever to get to where you need to be.
Yeah. And even some of these content creators, like that's a lot of the big ones.
Yeah. It's a lot.
They put time.
It's not like they're just doing some dumb shit and it goes viral. That's their life and they're putting a lot of work behind it. So if I got friends of massive on social media influencers, and I know these guys are like setting up different stuff and constantly coming up with concepts and themes and all kind of stuff and starting trends, and it's a lot of work. And what people don't see is people always say they want a car, the jewelry. They don't want that depression though. You know what I mean? They don't want that anxiety. They don't want they
don't want the stress.
They don't want the stress.
Pressure.
They don't want that. They just want all the good stuff to come with it. And so
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, no, it goes with those influencers. I worry about some of them because, like, during the 2020 pandemic, you had all this long neck, wide neck, all these guys that were basically making fun of their own deformities.
The big eyeballs.
And then they, like, blow up, and then now you see them, and the fame's gone, and the depression's sinking. Yep. And I'm just like, it's a false sense of being a celebrity.
Yeah.
Most of these influencers, it's not sustainable.
Big time. And trust me, I've seen that. I got friends who are big influencers who don't like being out in public. Like they're totally different who they are on social media.
That's usually how it is.
They're quiet, they're shy, they're more reserved. Yeah.
I was always told by my boss, he said, you're going to find your most fame in isolation. And I live a very isolated life. Yeah. Even being here in Vegas, she sees a lot about what
and I think that people got to get comfortable with that.
Yeah.
You know, like I always
choosing you.
Yeah.
And choosing yourself.
Once you get comfortable being isolated and be good with yourself, like you're great. And, you know, when you're working, like what I'm doing, you're constantly on Zoom, you're doing a meeting here, you're constantly in the meetings, you're going to a location and coming back. It's always like you're going to a destination or you got something to do.
Right.
And so that downtime you get is really by yourself, you know, a lot of times.
Yeah.
And you gotta be extremely comfortable with that, man, because people will struggle, they need to be around somebody. They don't last.
No.
They don't last.
Yeah.
No, that's why I tell people 2 parts during my day. I say when I'm getting ready in the morning and when I'm at the gym is the only time my phones are off. Nobody can get to me. And I'm like, there's my peace. And then when I'm ready to just look at it and then the anxiety kicks in, you got the 100 things to do right off the jump.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, I wait till I'm ready. Do you have like the people in place, like the Joe Rogans, the announcers, the Bruce Buffer?
We got man, because remember I come from the TV side of things, right? And so talent is what makes, you know, team and talent is, which is really one, makes your whole organization go. Definitely. If you don't have the right people, and I'm not the one, I don't like firing people. I mean, I gotta let people go. But you know, the people you have under your umbrella is the ones that make stuff go. Like a lot of things, like I'm driving the bus. But man, if you don't have those right people in place, you're gonna fail. And 100%. I don't care who you are.
You gotta delegate.
Do you want to shout out any people?
Yeah, I mean, look, but our whole entire team, from our broadcasters, our our post reporters done all that stuff, and our matchmaking and production, and it's, you know, we got, I have a CFO. Like we have I just have a great team of people. And then the crazy thing we just talked about, like when you're growing fast, you're like, oh, we got to hire us because now we got a lot of tech coming. Now we're looking for a CTO. And now you're looking for a head of marketing. Now you're looking, it's just a constant, now you got a social media person. And I was just talking about Mike, our social media guy today, and then Chris, who does our head of digital, Chris Martinez. Now you need people under him because now the workload becomes so much, and now you got different platforms and different stuff that you got to produce strictly for ESPN or strictly for this. Now they need people under them. Yeah. And
sorry.
Yeah, go.
How many people are on your team?
Total production, all that. I was close to 40. Maybe about that.
Have you ever dealt with a fighter that's like, fuck you?
No. No. But it's almost like
because they're so aggro. Like
but you know what? It's funny because I like the locker room shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you talk to any former player, the first thing they'll tell you, like, yeah, the money's cool and all that. They miss all that stuff, the fame, people looking at you. But you missed the locker room. You got somehow this damn hillbilly from the Midwest or South, friends with the dude from the city, from the hood. You're like, what in the hell happened, right? Yeah. And it's like one of those things, and then it's a nonstop, like, back and forth.
Yeah, the banter, all that stuff. Yeah,
you're just like, man, and I love it. You know, guys start going at each other. Like, we go to the gym, and they've been talking shit to each other, and next thing you know, they're sparring before we even start a class. And I'm like, you know he said that shit before. You don't let him,
Yeah.
And so that's me. It's like, but I still love to kind of be around it.
Do you have a particular gym out here that you go to?
Yeah. Extreme, Couture, and then Flex, my boy Flex Lewis's gym, Dragon's Lair.
Okay.
I'll go over there too. And then, Project Wellbeing, I train over there too. And they got a lot of recovery stuff.
Right. Okay. So one of my last questions for you, Shawne, and I know we're getting close to wrapping up. When it's all said and done, what's that legacy, that you want people to remember you as?
It's crazy you ask that, man, because I got so much more to do.
Definitely.
So like when I won't say given, but when I earned the name Lights Out, definitely. Right? Like social media wasn't around. And so back in that time, like I was a folktale back in PG County. It was like,
hey, have you heard?
Yeah, right. Yeah. And so I remember it was a Bojangles up there. It was like the chicken place Bojangles up the street from us. And I was standing in line. This is like at the end of my sophomore year. And then like, it was a couple people next to me. They was like, man, you hear about this kid, this Lights Out kid in Douglas? Man, he did really knock all those people out. And they didn't know I was like 6 feet away from him, right? And I was right there. And I think that every level you go, you grow into something else.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
And like I don't see myself ever being complacent. So it's really hard to say. Like 6-7 years ago, I didn't know shit about tech. We got a full on tech platforms, multiple. And so it's when I think of legacy, it's like I was at the Golden Knights game not too long ago, and the guy came up to me and was like, "Man, you the guy that owned that fight league." He know nothing about football.
Wow.
He didn't even know who I was from NFL.
Oh, so now you're creating a whole nother legacy.
He had no idea, and that was
Love that.
I thought that was really cool for me.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Because they see you as something else.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think there's any point in my life where I can't see that I can grow into something.
Definitely.
And so when I think about legacy, it's like, okay, which legacy? The guy that, came from nothing in PG County to going to the University of Maryland, to the guy that was all pro and on NFL, to the guy that, grew a big organization like Lights Out Extreme Fighting, to the guy that turned into a tech. Like, you get what I'm saying?
Oh,
so,
absolutely.
But I think ultimately, man, I've done a lot of stuff for a lot of people and, charitable organizations. And, I just finished my 23rd annual Win a Coat Drive at the University of Maryland. And, appreciate it. And so, and then too, man, I want to start getting into places where you can make some decisions and change some stuff. And I think this social media stuff is so weird nowadays, man. Everybody got a hashtag or a cause, right? Instead of, somebody getting off your ass and doing something about it.
Guys, share and repost.
Right.
It's like, okay, cool. When are we actually going to go out there and make a change?
Right. If you don't like a law, go talk to your city councilman.
Right.
Go talk to your governor. Go talk to your senators. And start somewhere by doing something instead of running your damn mouth and typing, and if I'm always going to be the person to do something about it,
All right.
So if I want something done, I'm going to start working. So it'll be a time that I start to get more into that lane, down the road, I think, and start, making change. And,
awesome.
Because I was homeless before, to really, really dive more into that, I, donate money and done a lot of stuff with Salvation Army and Feed America, standing up with kids, a lot of these homeless shelters and stuff like that. Probably get more into that when things free up.
That's what's up.
So see, doesn't it feel good to like kind of have something to fall into? Like I was having the discussion with her the other day. I don't even like using I was telling her like I'll be telling a story to somebody. It'd be like you telling an NFL story about how you and these epic players went out. People almost don't believe you. Yeah. It's like, bro, I won a Grammy 23 years ago, and I don't want to be I won it 23 years ago.
Right.
Like this is my new entity.
Mm-hmm.
That guy's gone.
Yeah.
And people, they just don't know. Like, so people that don't know you, they wouldn't even know what it was like to be in the NFL and to be around these types of people. And, it's always good of rebranding.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Because I'm just like, everybody changes. Like, it doesn't matter what
you got to keep evolving. And, like you said, not be stuck in the, like, don't get me wrong, I love talking shit about football, but if you're around me just talking about what we did 15 years ago, I'm like, all right, bro, enough's enough.
Right.
So.
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, hey, now that since we know this is the CEO, you better put your offer in on us for your media. we're the next ones.
Y'all look more people to pay. God damn it.
True. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you guys handle that there? Like, I know the UFC. I heard they give like each media company or whatever.
Y'all always, we got a fight every month in Long Beach. We got one coming up February 7th, our next big one.
We got to go to that one.
And then we got one, practically every 3 to 4 weeks right after that. So the next two will be in Long Beach, and we'll go down to San Diego and see, if I can get licensed maybe here or we got a big offer from Texas, and we just got a call today to come out to Puerto Rico. So.
Ooh, that'd be a good one.
Yeah,
right.
So do you do that? Do you let people? Do you guys run it like where you do like a press conference the day before and then?
Yeah, no, we're getting it. I want to live stream our press conferences, and it would be on my network. And then the good thing is when I launch my own platform with Lights Out Sports TV, which is like available on every smart TV, iOS and Android. I did that so we can have more control over the content we talk about.
Absolutely.
It doesn't mean that we don't work with great partners like ESPN or our stuff is on UFC Fight Pass still, but everything get launched and tested out on Lights Out Sports TV. But yeah, dude, I mean, tons of stuff to do.
Okay. So how can people find you like on social media and stuff?
At Shawne Merriman on all my social handles, and then at Lights Out XF for Lights Out Extreme Fighting.
All right. Well, how about you, Lil Rach?
Run it. You can find me on the interwebs at Lil Rach, LALRAYCH.
All right. And what about you, Mr. Will?
Across all social media platforms at Mr. Will Roundtree. That's MRWILLROUNDTREE.
Hardest worker
What
in the
about
game.
you, True?
You can just find me at Green Room Radio. I'm at the age where I can only control one page and one page only. I'm here on the radio. But thank you so much, Shawne,
Appreciate
for coming
it.
by, man. You're
Absolutely
a cool
a pleasure.
dude. And we will definitely be checking back in with you. We'll definitely be calling you and asking you for free tickets when
don't deal.
you guys are on the big
And pay for
platform.
everything. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm going for the ring announcer job. I don't know about y'all.